Right, hi guys, and welcome back to the Moaning Yorkshireman, and welcome back to the Love-Hate Relationship series. Now, as you saw on Tuesday, I did 5 of my favourite PlayStation 3 games ever. The top 5 that I adored, that I played to death, and that I can't get enough of, and we're still playing them until this day. When sadly, on Monday, the 11th of May, my PlayStation 3 died. That's upside down. But there you go, my PlayStation 3 passed away, 80 gigabytes, bought December the 25th, 2006, or played first time, Christmas Day, my parents bought it me. And yeah, sadly the 11th of May 2020, it's passed away with the yellow light of death, fashionably late. So you saw me do the 5 games I loved on Tuesday, and now it's time for the 5 I absolutely despised. Here we go. Strap yourself in, because it's going to be a filthy one. So to kick things off, I'm going to be doing the 2 Formula 1 games first, and that is F1 2011 for starters. Now, I mentioned on Tuesday that F1 2010 a fantastic game and a good platform for Codemasters to build on. And they didn't do it, did they? No, they did not. What did they do? They went in a completely different direction and it didn't work at all. My God. I remember my mum took me to Tesco's at midnight to go get that game. So obviously it was available on the Friday. So I went Friday night, midnight. So it went into Saturday morning to go get this game, and I was eager, I was anticipating, I grabbed it, I was one of the first to pick it up, ran down, like literally everything quick as I could, because I wanted to stick it in my PlayStation 3, download it and play it that night. And I put it in and I played it for about half an hour and I thought, what the fuck is this? What is this shit? Honest to God, I was so disappointed. The body roll of the cars, God, it had more movement in them than my Matiz. There were more body roll in that fucking game than there were in my Matiz. I remember the cars were just like that, and there was like no grip, everything understeered. There was just nothing there, there was no feedback. The cars were you were just constantly turning in, because you had to turn in miles before a corner was even there, because it had just understeer. It was terrible. It really was bad. I thought, this is tragic, this. And that's when I knew then alarm bells were ringing. I thought, they've not fucking sussed this at all, have they? They've gone and done it wrong. And they did it wrong, and it was crap. I absolutely hated that game. I persevered with it, but I never really played online on it. I never really did that. You know, I just thought it was shite. It really didn't live up to the hype that I'd given it personally and the hype that everyone else was giving it. But it should have done. It should have done, Codemasters. This is the problem. You had a fantastic baseline there with F1 2010, for fuck's sake. You just had to fine-tune it. But instead you stuck everything that was good about F1 2010 in the fucking bin and produced that god-awful shite. 2011 was fucking wank. I'm sorry, it was shit. It was pure shit. Yeah. Do you know what? It pisses me off thinking about it. I've not played that game since. It's still up on the shelf, unfortunately, but yeah. I'm not even asked to get it down to show it you, because I don't think it deserves it. But there you go, F1 2011 was crap. Next up, I said it were another F1 game, it's F1 2014. What the fuck were they doing with that? That should have been on PS4, and it wasn't even good enough for PS3. What was that all about? That game was crap. It was arcadey, the graphics, everything was really bright. Like, everything was just too bright. It's like I was playing fucking Mario or something with the colours, not fucking F1. Oh, it was awful. It was just an awful, awful game. The problem is they'd missed the boat to get it on a PS4, and they dumbed it down for PS3, and they just ruined it. I don't think it'd have been very good for PS4, to be honest with you, but yeah, it just didn't work at all. The cars weren't realistic. Again, the handling of them was piss poor. 2012 and 2013, they recovered that somewhat, and I thought, okay, we're starting again to get ready to get back to where we were with 2010, and then 2014 came out, and then fucked it, didn't it? They just didn't get the concept of the new rules and stuff for 2014 with the hybrid era at all well. They failed dramatically. They just failed dramatically with it. It was piss poor. It was just shit. I'm sorry to say it was just a shite game. And like I said, the scary thing is that should have been out on PS4. And now you look at that game and think, God, what have you done? What have you done? I just can't even... The thing is, I can't even pick a specific thing that was wrong with it because it was all bad. It was all bad. It was fucking atrocious. The game, it was... God. Again, it's just giving me fucking headache remembering it. It was terrible. Everything about it was crap. Yeah, shit. Absolutely shit, that game. Yeah, I was glad to see the back of that one. But yeah, absolutely awful. Those two games were the worst off the PlayStation era. PlayStation 3 era, I should say. F1 2011 and F1 2014. But yeah, crap. Absolutely crap. Piss poor performance by Codemasters on those two, unfortunately. Next up, another Codemasters game. Grid 2. What had you done? What had you done, Codemasters? You just got shit and you've not got yourself out of that shithole yet, have you? You've dug yourself into a big, massive pile of dog shit and you can't get out of it. Grid 2, what was it? 2007, I think Grid came out, the original Grid, or 2008. And they'd had 3-4 years away, and Grid 2 was released 2012. And I was hyped. I was pumped. As I mentioned, the Race Driver Grid was amazing, and I shouldn't have lived up to the... I shouldn't have... I know now how disappointing Codemasters are, so when they release something that's shite, I'm not surprised, and I don't buy it until it's worth £15, and then I still think it's not worth that. But yeah, the produced Grid 2, and I got it on pre-order, I got it straight away, and I put it in, I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this? What was there? There were 3 real circuits. There was Algarve, was it Donington Park? No, Brands Hatch. Algarve, Brands Hatch, and something else that were real circuits. Everything else was street circuits that were just not even remotely realistic. Like, not even remotely real. There were just fake New York City stuff where you could crash into lampposts. I was like, you were driving over piers and waterways. I was like, what is this? This isn't Grid. This isn't Grid. It was all like, it was trying to be like a Need for Speed or a Midnight Club or something, but still trying to keep Grid. The only reason that game sold so many copies was because of people like me that loved the first one so much and thought that the second one would be just as good. And we got robbed as well with the trailer, because the trailer showed the race circuits. And unfortunately, it only showed the 3 that were in it. But it showed like 2 street circuits and the 3 race circuits. You think, oh, that's good. It's like Grid again. No. It was 90% fucking imaginary shit street circuits. And even in fact, there weren't that many of them. You just drove them in different directions. So you just drove one backwards and you drove it otherwards, or there was a short one. And I was like, oh, God, the unimagination was unbelievable. The game was crap. I played it for an hour. What happened to it? Did I throw it in the bin? I can't remember. I've not got it anymore anyway, but I definitely didn't sell it. I think it went in the bin. Yeah, it was shit. That shit, I binned it. Yeah, I was not impressed with that at all. At all. That was such a disappointment. That was a bigger disappointment than F1 2011. Because F1 2010, I knew they had something to build on. So I wasn't expecting another perfect game. It was shite, F1 2011, and it was dismal, and it deserved to be put in the bin. But when you've got a game that's perfect, Grid, and all they had to do was just make a few tweaks, maybe add a few new cars, stick a couple more genuine circuits on. That's all they had to do. They didn't. They binned all that current platform off that they had with F1, with Race Driver Grid, the first one, and then, yeah, just shit. Unbelievable. That game gives me fucking headache, that. That annoys me. Next up on the list is Grand Theft Auto 4. Now, I know people will probably be surprised by that, and a lot of people loved it, but for me, that game just didn't capture anything about what the others were. You know, I mean, my favourite, and probably again going to be a cliche because I'm sure everyone had said San Andreas for their favourite, and don't get me wrong, fantastic game, but my favourite was Vice City of the Grand Theft Autos. Without a doubt, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And the hype was there again for this Grand Theft Auto coming out. I mean, we'd had San Andreas, hadn't we? And then we went into the Liberty City stories and stuff, didn't we? And then with Vice City stories. And the Chinatown stuff and whatever else those shit things were that were coming out for like PSP and stuff like that. And so GTA 4 was the first proper GTA we had in my mind anyway to the proper fans. Again, I'm not a proper fan of the franchise, so don't criticise me on this, but for me, GTA 4 was going to be the first proper GTA since San Andreas. And you think of that massive gap in the years that we had to develop something that was brilliant, and it just didn't deliver for me, personally. It just didn't deliver. I never completed the story mode with it, which I had on all the others, and I was a lot younger then as well, so this time I could have done it, and I didn't. You know, I mean, I remember having to get my cousins to help me do missions, because I was only like 7 or 8. Oh, yeah, an SPCC on board, Childline, playing an 18-year-old game at the age of 7, but yeah, you know, shit happens. That was back in the day where it weren't all PC. But yeah, honest to God, those games were amazing, and I used to really get frustrated at missions I couldn't complete. And then this one comes up, and yeah, it never grabbed me. It never grabbed me. The online on it, I didn't see the point in it, because I'm just used to single player, obviously, with San Andreas and that. And I think that dumbs the story mode down a bit. When you've got online, people think, oh, well, he's not going to do the story mode, he's just going to do online. So we'll get rid of the good stuff out of the story mode. Yeah, I didn't find it all that interesting, all that fascinating. I think I did manage to unlock 2 out of the 3 islands, or however many there were on them, but I didn't get all the way on it, and I just didn't give a toss about it at all, to be honest with you. So that was a disappointing, really, when you expect so much from a game that doesn't deliver. Well, these are all disappointing, to be honest, but this one wasn't really a frustration about it. I was pissed off about it. I just thought, oh, they've not quite got this right. Never played GTA 5 either. I think it's probably because of the reason why GTA 4 was, you know, just didn't meet my expectations, and I don't know what GTA 5 has to offer, to be honest. I don't think I've ever played it. Oh, I've played it at my mate's house a couple of times, but that's just pissing about killing the coppers. So story mode and stuff I've never really done. But yeah, just a bit disappointed with that one. And last but not least is Operation Flashpoint. Now, this I could probably revisit if I wanted to, and I'd maybe find it a bit better, but that game was impossible. That game was just impossible for me. I mean, it was only a few years ago I was playing it. The graphics were piss poor on it in comparison to other games that were out there at the time, such as the Battlefields. And it was just impossible. It really was an impossible game for me. And there was someone on my trophy list, on my friends list, that had got the platinum on this game, and I never got past 7% on the trophies. Because I just couldn't get... I think I did the first 2 missions, and then that was it. I was just stuck. You had to go into a house, and there was like 3 of them in there. And you got one shot, and you were dead. You got hit once, you were dead. So I never played it again. I just thought it was too much. I tried going on to different shooters after Battlefield Bad Company 2. Tried going on to different ones, and it just never happened, really, unfortunately. So yeah, Operation Flashpoint is probably not really my thing, to be honest with you. I was just disappointed in the graphics itself, and the fact that as a casual player it was impossible to do, really. I'm not an expert at it, but I don't think there was a difficulty level on it, I seem to remember, and it was nigh on impossible to do. So yeah, I just expected more from it. When I saw the reviews about it saying it was good, realistic and stuff, I thought, oh well, I can deal with realistic. I thought it just meant like wind with a sniper, like you had with Bad Company and stuff, but no, overall just a bit disappointing, really. So there you go, those are my 5 PlayStation games for the PlayStation 3 that never really quite lived up to expectation. Some of them came with a lot of hype from previous successors, and others I just thought I'd try out and didn't quite work. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and feedback down below. Which are the 5 games that you really hate? If you're into Formula 1, what would you rank the PS3 games out of? Which one would you put at the top? Which one would you put at the bottom? Let me know. Have a good old chat in the comment section as always. So there you go, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and much love.